from my compound in beautiful Gig Harbor, Washington. From the Pacific to the Atlantic to you worldwide. Well, good evening or morning, depending on your time zone. This is Gary, and you're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio. Our guest tonight is Tom Whitmore. We're going to be talking UFOs, MJ12. Get yourself an easy chair, some hot jabba. The rig is filled with fuel. We're ready to hit the paranormal universe on Night Dreams Talk Radio.
Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
This is Night Dreams Talk Radio Network News, and I'm James Creechbaum. For all the truckers out there, here's a little bit of weather for you. There's from the northwest into Washington, Oregon, Idaho, over to Montana. In North Dakota, South Dakota, there's going to be winter mix, freezing rain, snow mix. Over into Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, New York, and New England states, and again, mix, snow, rain, freezing. In the south, much rain, heavy rain, thunderstorms, flooding, flash flooding, and more tornado warnings. There's a severe thunderstorm and widespread heavy rain will impact the Gulf states and the southeast through Friday morning. Now, a Canadian low-pressure system to produce snow across the northern Great Lakes Thursday, wintry conditions over the eastern Great Lakes and northeast on Friday. Showers and mountain snow arrives in the Pacific Northwest also on Thursday. Dangerous winds continue across Wyoming and Montana, increasing the risk of tractor-trailer blowovers. So be careful out there regarding that. Tennessee, tornadoes, dozens still missing after storms that killed at least 24 people. A day after the deadliest tornado outbreak in Tennessee since at least 2011, a state of emergency is still in effect as tens of thousands of residents grappled with the lack of electricity, disrupted gas and water lines, and impassable roads. Storms struck just after midnight Tuesday and dropped roaring tornadoes across 4 counties in Tennessee, killing at least 24 people and flattening buildings everywhere. An AF3 tornado with winds up to 106, or EF3 tornado with winds up to 165 miles per hour, tore across Nashville area, killing 2 people downtown, according to the National Weather Service. Outbreak strikes Seattle area as testing is scrutinized. The epidemic continues to expand rapidly worldwide, topping 90,000 cases and 3,000 deaths. U.S. officials say the virus testing kits will soon become widely available. Health officials do scramble as the virus spreads across several continents. To date, American authorities have reported 100 cases nationwide, with 6 fatalities. But a genetic analysis of the virus in Washington state, where the deaths occurred, suggested that the illness could have been spreading within the community for as long as 6 weeks before the first case was detected. The coronavirus killed 3 more residents of a nursing care facility near Seattle on Monday, raising the death total in the area to 6. The number of coronavirus cases in the United States is rising, not just because the virus is spreading, but because testing has been expanded. And the persistent drumbeat of positive test results has raised critical questions about the government's management of the outbreak. How is this possible that the world's most medically advanced nation has struggled to diagnose this infection? Why weren't more Americans tested sooner? How many may be carrying the virus now? Most disturbing of all, did a failure to provide adequate testing give the coronavirus time to gain a toehold in the United States? Numerous reports made of a bright meteor fireball over the Netherlands and Belgium. There were 165 reports made to the American Meteor Society about a meteor fireball streaking over the Netherlands and Belgium on Monday, March 2nd, 2020. The meteor fireball explosion was apparently bright enough to cast shadows. A flock of 1,000 birds mysteriously found dead near Missouri town. What killed them? Well, more than 1,000 birds were found dead near a Missouri town on Monday, and officials want to know what happened. The Missouri Department of Conservation received reports of a large number of dead birds found near Sykeston, and went to the Conservation Department, had received calls about dead and injured birds between 8 and 9 p.m. on Sunday, about the time a thunderstorm rolled through the area. Now, birds were collected and sent to the Conservation Department's Wildlife Health Unit in Columbia for further analysis. If you have a news story you want us to share on Night Dreams Talk Radio, contact us at jamesnightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
Coming to you from some far point station, like a cosmic tumbleweed, both north and south of the Pleiades. Here's your host, Gary Anderson.
I hope everybody's had a great day. You know, one thing I will say this. Toilet paper, of all things, is in a short supply here down at the harbor. Also, water and a lot of things are in short supply. People are panicking. At this point, there's no reason to panic about what is going on. Just wash your hands, take each day as it comes, and listens to the news. That's all you can do. But panicking is just going to create a lot more stress on you, your family, your neighbors, and your friends. Just take it as it comes. You know, we'll find out more about this virus every day in the news. So far, yes, we've had, I believe, 6 deaths in the Seattle area. 4 of them were from a nursing home. And the people that succumb to the virus, it would be just like the flu or anything. You get a certain age and your immune system is just not up to being able to handle the flu, a bad cold. A lot of these people are on heavy medication due to their age. We'll see what happens here in the near future. But, you know, I just want to say that panicking is not going to solve the issue. You know, so take it each time. But I can tell you one thing. When you go to the store to buy toilet paper and you can't find it, that could be really interesting because you can't even go buy newspapers much anymore. So what do you do? Anyway, James, how you doing, my friend?
Oh, doing good. And I hope you're doing good also.
Well, people here in Washington State came home and they were really scared because they heard noises coming from their basement. Well, they thought somebody was broke into their house and was stealing stuff, so they called the police. Well, it turned out to be a young deer somehow got into the basement and was trying to get out.
Those deer, I'll tell you, one thing about deer, when they get in your house or anywhere that's confined, they will wreck it. I mean, they'll bounce off the walls and your furniture. It looks like it'd been ransacked.
Oh, yeah. Well, this one here, this story is for James Krischbaum. He's a fan of snakes. Could you imagine you're in a school and you go to use the toilet, and in the toilet there's a venomous snake? It's every day there's snakes. Oh,
my goodness, every day it's the snakes and the deer, the squirrels and the bears. They have somewhere secretly united, and they've plotted a plan against mankind to sneak up in some very mysterious places and scare the you-know-what out of us. And snakes, I think, are leading the pack in this category.
Well, earth changes. Could you imagine you're a 73-year-old woman and you were just talking about how you'd like to live forever. So you go on your porch to say goodbye to your friend, and a piece of ice falls off the roof and fatally kills you.
Oh, jeez. Well, that's fine. How do you do? Piece of ice falls off your roof and wipes you out. I've seen that happen on a few videos before from dash cams or even just street cameras. But when they go, and some of them things are heavy. That's one way to go. Boy, I wouldn't. That'd give you a headache.
Well, some of those icicles can get really sharp too, and depending on how far they fall from and the weight of them, they could be very, not forgiving.
Very lethal. Yes, actually, I had one almost got me. It landed very close. When you got ice like that and you see it hanging over, and especially if it's 20, 30 feet above you and the temperatures start to melt, that's when it gets dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Well, a California homeowner figured a way to keep his house secure from thieves. He hooked up a motion-activated sprinkler system with high pressure. So, in other words, if you go in to break in his house, you're going to get a stream full of water that is really high pressured.
You're going to get a shower like you've never had a shower before. It'd probably blow the clothes right off of you. My goodness.
Well, again, in Washington State, there's a lot of stuff in my state. I wonder why. I don't know. Well, there was a road hazard here recently. It was a 600-pound sea lion that decided to walk up a road, not just a little distance, but a long distance, like a quarter mile away from the water on this road. And this is walking down the road or kind of paddling down the road.
Let me tell you something. A 600-pound seal is going to have the right of way. I can assure you of that one. Those things, they take their time, and if they're in the way, there's not much you can do about them. And I sure wouldn't try to shoo it off the road either. I'd let it take its time.
Yeah, well, you know what? In Antarctica, they are taking ice samples. And it's actually now, what they're saying is it could change the way we read the Bible. Well,
that's
because they're finding samples of human or humane long before they were supposed to be.
Huh. That sounds interesting. I'll have to check that out.
Oh, yeah. Please do.
I will.
A Washington home is buried under 15 feet of mountain tumbleweed.
Wow. That's another thing, those tumbleweeds. I think it was in your state a couple years back. It was like 10, 20-foot wall of those tumbleweeds going across the highway. They had to shut the road down. I don't know if it was, I think it was your state, though. Maybe it wasn't, but I've seen those things. When they get together and clump up, they can really cause a lot of havoc.
Oh, they can. Try riding a motorcycle and have someone blow across in front of you. I mean,
oh, boy.
Yeah, you hit one of those, you're down really fast. And depending on how fast you can go, it can be really fatal. Well, a Michigan man was stabbed with a samurai sword after he didn't buy pot.
What? Was that a disgruntled wife or something?
He was probably trying to buy pot from a pot dealer, and he didn't buy it, so the pot dealer got upset and stabbed him with a samurai sword.
Well, I guess you're getting his half off there, but one thing about it, he's not going to be a repeat clientele. I mean, if you're going to treat your clientele like that, that's awful. Gee.
Well, I don't know. It's just weird situations. A New Jersey man passes off a fake $100 bill. And it was really surprising that the person even took it, because printed on the back of it, according to what is required,